Hey guys, this is Megson, your local real estate agent here in Orillia and the surrounding areas. I'm here today at my latest listing, which is 1401 Coopers Falls Road. And this video is actually going to go over a lot of the history about the property and how the original owners came to live here, who were actually the original settlers of the area. So stay tuned and you can see a lot of really cool features about the property as well as learn about the history of this family. So our story begins with Thomas Cooper, a butcher's son born in 1835 in Kent, England. Thomas married Emma at the age of 22. The scandalous wedding was shamed due to the difference in class between Thomas and Emma, Thomas coming from a lower class family and Emma from a wealthy family. They had their first two children within 2 years of marrying before Thomas saw posters for a new life in Canada and decided to flee the stigma of their marriage and head out on new beginnings. In 1864, whilst on a ship on the St. Lawrence River, the couple had their third child, Albert. After arriving, they took the train to Barrie, which was the end of the line at the time. From there, they took a boat across Lake Simcoe and Lake Couchiching to land in Washego. From there, they made their way into the bush to find the home of their land grant, which was part of a provincial program to increase sawmill operations into Muskoka. The first 4 days were spent building a log cabin just 1 kilometer from where I'm standing. The cabin provided basic protection from the elements, as well as high windows to stop wolves from jumping in and attacking their children. The early years were extremely difficult for the family, having to rely upon the land to survive, with the closest neighbors being miles away and the nearest urban center being Orillia, and over a day's walk, which today is just under half an hour by vehicle. Thomas and Emma ended up having 5 more children in that small log cabin. In 1876, Thomas Cooper decided to profit from the booming logging industry by setting up a general store to supply the bush camps. The Coopers built a house and a general store just a half mile from where their original log cabin was here on this property. The first post office was added and opened by Thomas Cooper with the name Coopers Falls. The family built a new brick structure a year later, which is the building we see here today, and Thomas also had a sawmill and a blacksmith on the property. By the 1880s, Coopers Falls had grown to over 50 people, and there were railway stations in both Washego and Severn Bridge, both accessible by road. Telephones were installed in most Coopers Falls homes by 1911, and electricity brought to Coopers Falls in 1941. Thomas's son William purchased a steam-powered sawmill in 1921 and had it shipped to Washego by train. From there, it was carted to the property. This sawmill prospered until 1925, when William had a fatal accident on the machines. He died and left 9 children behind. Coopers Falls went into decline thereafter as the mill was shut down. The lumber camps closed and business in Coopers Falls began to dwindle. Thomas Cooper's grandson and William Cooper's son, Frank Cooper, took over store operations in 1948 after growing up in the store and helping his mother run it. In the 1950s, it became increasingly hard to compete with the larger stores in urban centers, and Frank finally closed the store in 1968. Frank Cooper, who was born on the 2nd story of this here building in 1923, owned the property until his passing in 2019 at the age of 97. The property is now for sale for the first time since Thomas and Emma acquired it 160 years ago in 1864. So there you have it, folks, a brief history into the property as well as the family who founded Coopers Falls. If you think you might be interested in purchasing this property, you can find my contact details in the description below, so please feel free to reach out and don't forget to subscribe.